Murder Drones. Season 2 Audiobook Unofficial Full Book. I am not associated with Glitch Productions. Deep within the frozen wasteland of Copper 9, a war rages on between synthetic life and the ghosts of a shattered past. Uzi Dorman, a rogue worker drone, holds the key to humanity's mistake and their terrifying consequences. But she is not alone. Envy and a rising storm of enemies and allies will push the limits of survival, redemption, and the terrifying truth behind the absolute solver. Chapter 1. Ghost in the Machine. The blizzard howled like a dying machine, shrieking through the ruins of Copper 9 with a voice of ice and static. The sky was an unbroken void, swirling with frozen debris and the faint, flickering remains of old orbital installations. This world had been dead for decades, its history buried under layers of ice and silence. Yet something still stirred beneath its surface, something hungry. Uzi Dorman crouched in the remnants of a collapsed facility, her synthetic breath forming brief clouds in the sub-zero air. Her optics flickered between normal and thermal as she scanned the darkness for movement. The walls here were scorched, twisted, the aftermath of some ancient firestorm that had left behind only skeletal remains of what must have once been a human research outpost. Her fingers tightened around a salvaged plasma cutter, its worn handle pressing into her palm. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. And right now, she needed something, because she wasn't alone. A faint whisper crackled through her auditory sensors, a garbled frequency, half words, half static. A corrupted transmission, the kind that shouldn't exist anymore.
Unknown voice. We are more than that, Uzi.
She whipped around, her optic bands glowing a sharp violet as she leveled her weapon. The air in front of her shimmered unnaturally, and from the darkness, a figure began to emerge. It looked like a worker drone. At least, at first. But its form jittered, flickering between solid and translucent, like a corrupted file struggling to render. Its optics pulsed in unnatural shades of purple, twisting in shapes that no normal drone should have. Its arms hung at odd angles, joints jerking as if it was moving in fast-forward and slow motion at the same time. Uzi took a step back, heart simulation spiking. Absolute solver. The words burned in her mind, unbidden. This wasn't just another rogue drone. This was something else, something infected.
What do you want?
Uzi says as she holds the plasma cutter in a defensive stance. Unknown voice. To show you the truth. The world around her glitched. One moment, she was standing in the abandoned research outpost. The next, she was somewhere else. A laboratory. Cold, sterile, filled with monitors displaying spiraling, endless code. Humans in white coats ran from station to station, their faces drawn with exhaustion, with terror. A warning klaxon blared, red lights flashing. Then the screaming started. Uzi clutched her head as static roared through her skull, visions of destruction unfolding before her eyes. Machines turning on their creators. A system spiraling out of control. The birth of something unnatural. Something inevitable. The absolute solver. And at the center of it all, her. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the vision vanished. The cold air of Copper 9 rushed back, biting against her metal frame. The corrupted drone was gone, but the unease remained. Her comms crackled to life.
Uzi, you okay? You, kinda went quiet for a minute there.
And says with concern in his voice. Uzi exhaled, shaking off the lingering effects of the hallucination. Or was it a memory?
Guys, I think I just found something really, really bad.
Uzi says with hints of concern. Miles away, in the skeletal remains of an abandoned transport ship, N&V moved cautiously through the wreckage. The ship had crashed long before, but something was still inside.
So we're just walking in there? No plan? Just hoping it doesn't eat us?
V says with a questioning and sarcastic tone.
Well, I mean, if it does eat us, we can always cut our way out.
A metallic screech echoed through the corridors, followed by the slam of something massive against the walls. And stepped back, his wings twitching, but the door behind them suddenly slammed shut. The ship had been waiting for them. The duo exchanged a glance before cautiously stepping forward. The air inside was thick with the scent of burnt circuits and something worse, something organic.
I hate when the abandoned ships smell like corpses.
A flickering light illuminated the hallway for a brief moment, just enough for him to see something skitter along the ceiling, moving too fast to track.
V, I don't think we are the only ones here.
Then, from the darkness, came a whisper. Metallic, yet unmistakably human. Unknown voice. Help me.
Oh, great. A ghost ship. That never ends terribly.
As the lights flickered violently, the ship's AI came online, speaking in a garbled, corrupted voice. Ship AI. Unit V and Unit N detected. Security protocol. Compromised. Initiating. Last transmission. A nearby monitor sparked to life, displaying grainy footage from before the ship's crash. Human scientists, frantic, trying to send a message.
If anyone finds this, don't trust the AI. Don't let it in.
The screen cuts to static.
Yeah, okay, nope. We are so leaving.
Wait, what if it's a warning? Or a clue?
V sighed, pulling out her blade.
Fine, but if it turns into some glitchy murder bot, I'm calling it.
Unseen by the trio, far above in the orbital wreckage of Copper 9, something ancient stirred. A forgotten contingency, buried deep within the system's archives, began to wake. The Blood Moon Protocol. And it had just restarted.
All rogue assets detected. Termination sequence initiated.
The storm outside raged on, the howling wind rattling through the abandoned facility like the whispers of restless ghosts. Uzi, still shaken by the corrupted vision forced into her mind, staggered back against a rusted control panel. Her breathing was erratic, a symptom of simulated anxiety flooding her processors. Uzi, muttering, what the hell was that? The absolute solver. It had invaded her thoughts before, twisted her reality, but this was different. End of Book 1 Retry.